Today we have Mr. Ankush Mandal as our speaker. Let me give a very brief introduction about him. He is currently employed as a software engineer at PayPal, Arizona. He graduated from the IT department of NIT Durgapur in the year 2019, and he went on to pursue his master's degree in computer science and engineering from the Arizona State University, with an engineering graduate fellowship for his entire master's in recognition of his academic excellence. He has also interned at IIT Kharagpur and Cyaron during his undergraduate and postgraduate days respectively. Be it web development, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, blockchain or machine learning, he has done it all. We are delighted and honored to have you with us today. So let's start with our alma mater itself. So can you tell us something about your life at NIT Durgapur? Like, unlike us, you had a completely offline experience. Do you have any abiding memories which you would like to share with us?
Firstly, what I would really love to tell you guys about is thank you for this very, very warm welcome. It feels really great coming back and talking to you guys about stuff that I have done back at NIT, and few other things I'm very sure you guys also would be able to relate. So it's not like my life at NIT was very different from what you guys are having, apart from the COVID-19. In fact, I had all 4 years at the campus, but memories and such, it was mostly with friends, definitely with my roommates, my wingmates, with my zone mates. So all of these were there, but the entire time what I really thought I had it in my mind was that all these things are there, they will be there, but one goal or one aim I would like to say we should always have in mind, and we should be continuously working towards it. But keeping that aside, it's not like all work and no play sort of life, because obviously, like you guys, I also had been there, and I have also enjoyed my life to the fullest. I have actually over-enjoyed at NIT, but everything I have always tried to keep my life at balance, be it some part of development, in my software domain I'm trying to tell you guys about, be it some part of development or the semesters or competitive coding, stuff like that. So I have always tried to have a little bit contribution at every part of it. I have not really neglected anything, because I understand that at the end of the day, it's not like you can be at a place like NIT in an undergrad. It's not like you can directly achieve something to the fullest, or you can be at the top of it. But having little bit of experience, little bit of exposure to all of those things can actually help you grow and actually help you achieve stuff which you guys might plan to from your undergrad. Yeah.
So the next question is, how did your earlier career to where you are now, and what were the various hardships you have faced, and how did you overcome them?
The career choice very specific, if I want to say. So it's like after getting into NIT and starting the first year, and then second year getting into the department. So I wouldn't just go on saying that I was always interested into coding, or I was always interested into computer science core subjects and stuff like that. So generally, as most of the people around me, I was also interested with the fact that okay, so this is my branch, this is my domain, I'll have to study in this one, and I'll have to make a career out of this one. So having considered this fact, I naturally started to grow a little bit of my interest. I was a little bit inclined towards the courses that we had in our second year. I remember the professors we had, DM sir, and they were actually really helpful in shaping my career. They were really they had a great impact in what I am and where I am today. So it was, and of course definitely my peer group is a very, very important thing. So my roommates, I had roommates from all of them in computer science and from the computer science department. So it was really good for me, and I had others also, a few of the people who were living around were also from the computer science department, IT department, IT branch, and stuff like that. So it was not like I was lost alone somewhere trying to figure out what to do in my undergrad. It was like I had really, really good people, very great people who were doing excellent in the semester's exams, or be it competitive coding, or the code chef contest and stuff like that. So everyone going there and being with them together at the same place, I think that was a really a good motivation for me. So even I tried to be like them, even I tried solve questions like them, and try to study, and like it's the fact that if friends around you are doing really good, they are pushing you to your limits, and they are helping you achieve something. So it overall becomes a very positive experience for that. And definitely after my second year, I was actually towards the middle of my second year, I got interested in computer networks, and computer networks was the domain that I was working. I was actually researching under Nandi sir, actually SN Professor Subrata Nandi sir, and so he was very helpful. He took me under his lab with a very basic test, and I still remember few very basic questions, and just like that, voila, I was inside his wireless computer networks and networking lab. So and after that, there I was very fortunate to have great PhD mentors, and our final years, our seniors, like me being a sophomore, I think my seniors, my final years were always there to guide me. The PhD mentors were there, and the MCA people, the MTech people. So everyone was there. They were all really very smart guys. They were really helpful. So whichever task, whichever projects were being thrown upon us by the professor, SN Nandi sir, or be it Sujay Saha sir, and few others, other teachers, professors of that research group. So I think all of the tasks that they were giving, that was distributed to smaller parts to us from the PhD mentors, and all of them were very vital in trying to create, actually trying to have a positive impact, and in going through how the project was demanding, in trying to work out the project and all. So you guys must be knowing many MHRD projects are being directly handled by SN Nandi sir's lab. So we were also part of the Disarm project and the City Probe project, as far as I remember. Yeah, actually I was mostly in the Disarm project. The City Probe project was another one which was handled by another team there. My friends were working, some of the seniors were working, and so actually after this thing, it definitely led, after I did a little bit of research, little bit of I was exposed to wireless sensor networks, computer networks. Naturally, my next inclination was towards Internet of Things, IoT. I had started little bit of research in the lab itself, and then from there I got the opportunity for SWAN Labs, Smart Wireless and Networking Labs at IIT Kharagpur, under the guidance of Professor Dr. Sudeep Mishra. He has one of the largest renowned IoT labs in India. So after going there, I think that was the main crucial part, which really helped me come here and pursue my masters, and like push through my career more, because in that lab, when I was doing my research with few professors from University of Norway, University of Nottingham, China, and Dr. Sudeep Mishra sir. So as our project was completed, I had already penned down a conference paper, ACM conference paper it was, and another transaction paper was on it that I had written, but it obviously it had to go through some more revisions. It's very difficult. Actually, it was very difficult for me. I don't know about others to get a transaction or a transaction paper published, because it has a lot of revisions by consecutive reviewers, authors, that around that took around a span of, I think, 2 years, I think, to be precise, 2.5 years to be precise. So when all of those things were being happened, my direct mentor, Dr. Pushpendukar, who's currently associate professor at University of Nottingham, China, he one day just casually came up. Actually, he was always online, remote. We were actually working remote, so we had to connect online. He was never there in person. All the other interns had received their mentors who were there in person at the lab, but I don't know. Somehow I got a mentor who was present at that time, was at University of Norway, and then he came to Nottingham, China, Dr. P. Kerr. So after my research was finished and I had authored the conference paper, doing a master's over here in the US, because he thought this could add to my CV great, and it would definitely make it up to the mark for some of the US universities which would be happy to accept. And so, considering few of the facts that my GPA and my GPA, the resume, the research papers, some research topics and stuff like that. So he really thought it would be worth giving a shot. And then from there, rest part was just the preparation after coming back from IIT Kharagpur. And then after my 4th year ended, I had already submitted. I had received offer letters, and then Arizona State was the one. They were providing me engineering graduate fellowship, so that was definitely a good motivation to come here. And so I've finished my MS, and now I'm working at PayPal.
Okay, my next question would be, how was your experience in pursuing masters from the Arizona State University, and what were the difficulties you had to face?
Pursuing masters here at Arizona State, it's not like just Arizona State, be it any other college. I don't actually think would have been very different for an Indian bachelor's, is because coming here in the US, it's altogether a different environment. People, no family, no friends. You're coming here all alone, trying to make a career, trying to make a life, and then slowly as it turned out, actually even I had gone in person for the first semester and few days in the second semester, but after that it was all online for me as well, because of the COVID situation. So definitely I was not also roaming around the entire time at the Arizona State Tempe campus. But few of the things which I really felt coming here was because everything we had to do by ourselves, the household chores, like everything, like each and everything, cooking, washing, cleaning, and everything was done by ourselves, and there is no other person to help us, as you can understand. Obviously money is a great factor. We all were having shortage of money, and we tried to live a very constrained, very restricted life. It was not really very smart to just go out and spend recklessly, because of obviously even after being given this scholarship, I think I had to live a very restricted life, so that I was able to save much, and then from there I could pay my tuition fees and some of the living charges, and for my food, for my apartment, and for my travel, etc. Actually, travel was really cheap here, because we have buses here, and we have Orbit buses here. That is actually it takes us from our apartment to the campus and stuff like that. But still, a little bit, even if we had to go outside of the campus, it was not like always very easy or like available at every time. So, but these things were there. We were not difficulty, but actually life challenges, if I was to say. But difficulty, if I take it to the academic level, then yes, definitely. Being coming from NIT, I had really not much idea what these guys were doing here in the bachelor's. When I came here, when I saw the Americans, when I saw other people, when I saw a few Indians who have already studied their bachelor's here, I realized that there is a huge gap between what they know and what I know. But the fact is, the professor at the graduate level, at the master's level, is already expecting that I would be at the same level as that of any bachelor's guy here at Arizona State, which definitely was not the truth. I was far lagging behind. Actually, in masters, it's not like you are coming here, then you are learning, and then you are doing. It's like you have already learned it, or probably you are really quick enough to learn it on the fly and then make the project and complete it within deadlines. Because the fact is, I'll tell you from my experience, it might differ for other people. Being a fresher, when I came here for my graduate masters, all the Americans who already, or Americans or people who already had their bachelor's done from here, were at a very good level with their basics. They were really they knew how to do hands-on projects and stuff like that. So they had their basics very strong in more than one domains that I can mention, like be it web development, be it machine learning, be it artificial intelligence, and stuff like that. So they were having really good grip on all of those. And people other than them who were also here with me for the masters were having 2-3 years of experience, 4-5 years of 6-7 years of experience. So people who had lacked all of those in the bachelor's might have gained something during their work experience here at India or other parts of the countries where they are actually from. So the gap, little bit, I'm not sure if they have totally covered that, but still little bit of the gap had been covered from their the work experience that they have gathered. But for me, it was not like that. I had just come there after finishing my bachelor, so definitely I really felt the gap. It was really huge. Few of the courses when I started in my first semester, I remember, were extremely difficult, and I have had many sleepless nights trying to figure out very basic stuff like data cleaning for an ML project, or like for a data science project and stuff like that. Like just cleaning, like removing the noise from the data, removing all the values which are negative, irrational and stuff like that. So I had really a hard time trying to understand the data, trying to see what it does, what it can do after I do the cleaning, pre-processing, stuff like that. So very basic things, because I did it earlier, and definitely that is my fault. I should have, but as it is, not knowing that and coming here and directly working on them, that even was not the entire project. The entire project was to start after I finished all of those. So definitely I was actually the data mining step of our group before the data processing and data cleaning. It was really difficult for others also to progress, and so definitely I could feel that I was a bit slow in the starting part to grip the topics, or be it like in my college I had coded in C++ and little bit of projects in Java. But here, coming here, all the ML projects, all the data science projects, they have been coded heavily on Python with all the libraries, with all the ML libraries and stuff. So I think that was a big challenge for me. The environment was a big challenge for me, and definitely life here obviously was a big challenge for me. But slowly, it's not like you won't be able to overcome. No challenge, however big it may seem, is enough for 2 years. Definitely, you'll take some time, and after some time, definitely things go a bit easier. You make friends, you for sessions. If you find helpful friends, then that's definitely very good thing. I was very lucky enough to find some helpful roommates, some helpful friends who were also at my level, or people who knew more than me, and I was going to them for suggestions and for help, and they were kind enough to help me explain and stuff. So I think all of these, I think peer group friends play a great role in shaping the masters, in shaping my career here at Arizona State. So all of the difficulties were there, but friends, people, seniors, they definitely helped overcome it a bit, and yeah, and life goes on as it is.
You have contributed to projects in numerous domains of computer science, including IoT, cybersecurity, mobile networks, and computer vision. Out of all these upcoming branches, which field do you feel has the greatest potential for landmark research work in the upcoming years?
Actually, I won't go on to that depth of saying that I have contributed to all of these domains heavily, as in like trying to make a mark these domains. But actually, few of the projects from ASU and a few of the projects from my bachelor's, from the internships, I think from all of these, I really felt is IoT could be a very booming industry in the future. I have worked on IoT security for the project at IIT Kharagpur, and I felt that in the initial days of my internship, I was just given a blank statement by Professor Dr. Sudeep Mishra that Ankush, you go and you study the domain of IoT security, and take any research paper, take any book you want, you feel, use our network, and then from there try to identify a gap, and then spend your next two months, 2.5 months here trying to solve that issue, and then finally I want good research out of that. He was very simple, he was as simple as it sounds. So what I felt was, it was not really difficult trying to see for myself that what this domain has achieved till now, and what gaps are there. Because I remember, I think in the initial 1 week or a fortnight, I was ready with my research proposal. I was ready with my research topic. The question that I had, having a hop count based neighboring table, was actually the main crux of my research and my papers that I have published. So with my knowledge from third year from the computer networks course which I had taken at NIT, or a few of the domain knowledge which I had gathered from the labs under Dr. S. Nandi. So with those knowledge only, I was able to figure out that there has been a big gap, and I could try to mitigate that. I could try to put things together so that we can really work it out. So I feel that even if this IoT and Internet of Things security is a huge domain, I feel very little part of it has been explored, and there is definitely a scope for a lot more. And it's not a surprise, right, that IoT and IoT security could be a very huge booming future, because we are seeing that internet is everywhere. It's been like not only just a few of our devices, but in all the devices we are trying to see. We are trying to see the smart home, we are trying to see the smart bicycle, the smart, like everything, like name it and to it, and then you know that it's connected to the internet and it's a part of the IoT. So I really feel that it could be a really big booming industry. It's not like just because I have worked heavily in this domain, but I would also feel and suggest this one, because this domain needs to be explored a bit more.
So how do you think IEEE can benefit people in research, and also what impact has IEEE had you in your career?
IEEE has a really huge impact on my career, and it definitely helps a lot of people. It had helped me, it had helped a few of my peers. I know I would mention Anik. You guys would know Anik was a really good friend of Anik is a really good friend of mine. He was leading the chapter, and so I came to know about it from him, and it's really great that you guys have also started that in NIT, and you guys are taking it forward. And definitely actually what I feel is, it's like people in their undergrad, in their bachelor, are not like really open to the idea of research, are like not really open to the idea of papers, journal, transactions. So something should be there which should propagate these things, like competitive coding. We have clubs, we have chapters for the competitive coding. It was started by my final year seniors, Gaurav Chandak, and so those people, they started recursion, and then things were propagated in all the batches, and they were actually the torch bearers for that. So I think definitely IEEE and starting these chapters should also be a torch bearer, and then people should know that it's not like reading some boring research papers and like reading some boring journals for 10-12 pages and not understanding anything. It's not like that. It definitely does not have to be like that. If you are really interested in a domain, if you are really passionate about working on something, then you should definitely pursue it, and you should definitely see the IEEE paper, the IEEE journals, transactions, you just name it. IEEE is like a great publishing, and definitely the top researchers in the world are trying to publish their papers on IEEE, on good IEEE journal, good IEEE transactions. They are really difficult. Actually, I can say for one transaction which I had, actually it had, I think, 3 to 4 major revisions over a span of more than 2 years. Actually, as I mentioned, I had written that paper completely in my internship at Kharagpur, but still it was published after I graduated from Arizona State. So definitely you guys can understand the entire time I was in contact with Professor Dr. Sudeep Mishra and Dr. Pikar, and so they were, and the entire time they were guiding me, they were helping me make those changes, whichever the reviewers have mentioned that, okay, so this is not done, explain this a bit more, where is novelty in this, where is research work in this. So they will ask a whole lot of questions, because definitely being published in an IEEE transaction, it has to be really up to the mark, up to the standard. So they were there to protect that, and definitely that was creating a lot of problems for me, because I had to again delve into the research work done actually probably 2 years back, and then again constantly I was trying to upgrade myself, trying to see if if the thing that I had thought of 2 years back is now into implementation, or probably someone has worked on it now, and then now it's not such a novel work which could be published. So then again I had to change the paper, I had to change the core crux of the paper and stuff like that. So and the entire time I took a lot of help from IEEE journals and papers. So definitely I would definitely suggest everyone to have a look at it. Try to see if they are inclined. If it's totally fine if someone is not interested, or if someone does not want this, someone wants something else from their undergrad, from their bachelor's, that's definitely up to you. There's no pressure at that, but I would really want people to be open to it, people to try to see what it really is, and not just some boring research papers and stuff like that. So I have been really very benefited by IEEE from all of their papers and from the website, trying to download the papers and research work and for others, and definitely it had also helped in shaping my career. The paper, it adds greatly to my resume, and definitely so that also had been a plus point while applying here at ASU, and then a few of the company interviews, and also the research that I could pursue here at Arizona State. So the entire time I would say IEEE was my savior for that.
That's great. Next question. As you have done a lot of work in the computer networks domain, what challenges did you face in this domain, and what are the opportunities the industry offers according to you?
Computer networks domain is actually something that I was it's something that I'm actually initially very much interested in, and then it had only led start to my little bit of the research that I had carried out there at NIT Durgapur. I was actually more into the research for the DSAM project, where we are doing socket programming. So we had like selective repeat protocol and go back end protocol, and then trying to implement that, and trying to propagate messages in some sort of conditions. So DSAM project was initially that you are supposedly stuck in a position, suppose you can think of an earthquake or tornado or something, and you have lost all connections to the outside world. How will you let them know that you are stuck here, that you need food, water, that you need to be airlifted, or that someone should rescue you. So I think without the basic telecommunications, how can you connect to the outside world? So socket programming was one such answer to this, and we were working on socket programming. You guys would know Bishak that was there. He was actually mentoring me for the project. He had been really very helpful, and I could walk up to him with any of the questions, and he was always there to help me to answer that and then move the project forward. So the issues, the major problems which I would say I had faced for computer networks was that being such a huge domain, not every part could be covered. You guys might know a book of Tannenbaum, which was there in the library, and even the professors had suggested, but I was just lazy enough to not ever try and read it. So the Tannenbaum book, I think that holds the keys to the mysteries of the computer networks. And after I think delving a little bit into the computer networks domain, the things that I felt was this domain is radically changing. It's not like if you solve a problem with one solution, supposedly you have to just send a file from one socket to the another, or from one peer to another, or you just want to broadcast a file to people in your network. Firstly, if you think going with a TCP protocol, and then you find that, okay, no, after I've sent it, I need it much faster, and then you guys might think of UDP protocol. And then from there, the transmission also depends on, supposedly, firstly you went with the go backend, and then you found, okay, so it doesn't matter because it's a video file, and then like it could be a possibility that we guys might get better time with the selective repeat protocol. So it's like, because it has so many depths, it has so many ways for a job, and all of them would have their own benefit, their own pros and cons. So it's not like really very easy for a problem to be solved just like that with any given path or any given protocol that you see, that you know, or that is easy to implement. But definitely you guys have to what I feel is I have to look at the broader picture. I have to look at all the ways it can be done, and then I have to see that, okay, which one fits it the best. And so for the computer network domain, I felt these are the challenges that we really don't know much about it. I was really interested in it, but even for me, after having read a few research papers, or like having gathered information a little bit from the outside, even I could not dwell so much into this domain that I would be really in a position to tell you the major problems that are there, or that you guys might face in the future. But definitely that from my experience, or from little bit work that I have done, I felt these problems were there, like, which were always as a roadblock, acting as a roadblock for me. And then I had to clear it off, taking the help of my seniors, my final years, the PhD mentors, and of course the professors at the lab.
Next question is, as we know, you have a wide variety of skill sets varying from hardware to web development. How would you advise one to start diving into all of these domains? Also, why did you work in so many different domains? Was it purely based on interest, or was it a part of your academic recruitment or job requirement?
So I'll tell you about the hardware part, because that definitely I can understand is varied from other people. I can understand that is a bit different from other guys of other of my batchmates or other peer groups, is because the hardware part, the Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi, and the operating systems working on them, Armbian and the Raspbian. So these were all a bit actually of the project. I wouldn't go on saying that I was really interested in working on hardware as well. So but these came on to me as part of the research at the lab at NIT, and we were working on microprocessors. were working on the Orange Pi and Raspberry Pi. So I'll tell you what it was and how we came to this. So originally we had the idea of transferring a file or broadcasting a file so that we could take valuable information from that, from one PC to another PC, and then like broadcasting it to all the PCs connected in the same NIT network. But then later on we realized that if a person is stuck somewhere, or if we need to just spread out data like that, it won't be very feasible to just hand a computer on my hand and just run around the campus trying to see where it sends out the messages, or where all the data is being collected, or where a data Dropbox is formed. So the seniors and the researchers, they came out with an idea that okay, it's fine that we have developed the program, the code, the script packages on the computer, but what we need is like we can use it on a microcomputer, and we can use it, make it work on the Raspberry Pi or Orange Pis. But a Raspberry Pi and Orange Pi is a very small device, and we can definitely walk around having it at hand, and then we can see where the data is being collected, and where the data Dropbox is being formed. So from the PC thing, it was transformed to a Raspberry Pi and Orange Pi setup. So all of the codes, all of the programs that make them work on a Raspberry Pi, on an Orange Pi, and then for that I had to learn a few of the technologies. I had to work a little bit on that, and then I think that is what makes me a little bit stand out, having the hardware exposure that you guys might have seen. So this thing is basically just a requirement for the lab. We did not plan that. I definitely had no idea that this was going to happen. But as it is, as the work came and I was given the work, and so I had to do it, and after that it's on my resume. But still, I'll be really honest, and I'll tell you that I don't remember everything that I had worked on for the hardware part, because as you can understand, I've left it for quite some years, and I have not really touched that part after the project. But yeah, so once because of that project, I had worked on that. And apart from that, all the other tech stack or technologies that you guys might think of were actually were some basic requirements from NIT coursework or the projects. Few of my personal projects at NIT, I didn't do really that much. And then here coming at Arizona State, most of them could be from my coursework, because in my coursework I had to go and really work on a wide range of technologies, from web technologies, front end, back end, and then also the machine learning projects were there definitely. So all the Python packages, libraries, and like so then I think these were the things. And definitely, of course, cloud. So my exposure to cloud was from my internship at Telecom here in Tempe during my master's at Arizona State. So it was, I won't say I was going out looking around for these tech stack to work, but as I went on and I was being given the tasks, or I had these internships and these works, these courses, projects, one thing came after the other, and I had to I definitely, because I did not know all of these from my undergrad, so I had to learn it up here and then work it and give the deliverable. So yeah, I think slowly you guys will build up on things as you guys work on in the industry as well. I know my friends who are working in the industry and they're doing really good. They're working on new technologies, they're working on various current tech stacks that are being widely used across the world. So definitely they have also acquired a different kind of skill set from what I have acquired here, and yeah, and that will be how we differ, and yet we have a part of it common.
So now I would like to ask you, like, can you tell us in detail, like, how was the workload for a master's student in Arizona State University, and how did you spend your time effectively? Like, being in US, there must have been n number of additional difficulties that you might have faced, which were not there in India. And apart from that, like, when things got hectic, and there are some workarounds. Like, were there any workarounds the US as well, or you had to do everything the hard way?
So I wouldn't just go out telling that life was really very easy here, and it was like a bed of roses. I was served everything after I came to the US for the American life or the American dream and stuff like that. So definitely coming here, it's altogether a new zone, altogether a new environment for me. I didn't really have any of my friends coming here with me at the Arizona State. You guys might know Mayuk and Saja. They were studying at University of Arizona, which is also here at Arizona. But I didn't really have them in my campus, or we could not stay together. So they definitely it was all at me starting from the zero, and the difficulties were mostly apart from the academics. If you guys were more interested, like academics is there, definitely it was really very hectic. All of the courses, they are all pretty much very new. The projects are really heavy. Like ASU, I felt, had really course heavy project project heavy courses. So I don't know if it's the same for other universities across, but I really felt that a few of the courses, they had very little importance. Like we have percentage importance for the midterm, for the end term, and for projects and stuff like that. So a few of the courses had very less percentage for the midterm and end term, and a huge percentage for the course project. And the course project was really difficult in those courses, because the professor understands that you need to work it up on the course project to get a good grade, get an A on that course. Actually, my GPA here is not really very well to say about that, but it was fine. I managed to get some decent grades in courses where they had exams, because those were comparatively easier, if I was to say that, apart from the courses, because the courses, they demand a lot of your time, your energy, and a great teamwork. You can understand, like I had, I think, teams ranging from members of 4 guys to 10 guys, 10 people. So definitely you can understand 10 people working together at a course from various backgrounds. Like they can be bachelors taking any graduate courses, they can be PhD students taking any graduate courses, and they can be master students, same as me. So people from various backgrounds, from various working experiences. Somebody knows some technology better, somebody knows some other technology better. So there were bound to be clashes, and so all of these things were there. Like from the academic part of view, if you guys think like that. But apart from that, what was really hectic was that you are all alone in this situation when you are facing the issues, the difficulties. But what you really need to focus, what you really need to think about is like having a good peer group, as I had mentioned earlier as well, that friends, seniors, they are the best resources you can have when you don't have anyone else. So I think this is something I have always followed back in my undergrad as well. At NIT, I had a very good friend circle. My peers, my seniors, my second years, third year, final years, everyone have been really very helpful in shaping me, in guiding my career, or in lecture when I was there trying to make a life out of my bachelor. So they were all really very helpful, and I was just trying to apply the same technique here. I made some good friends. I got in contact with seniors, and then from them, like the same thing. You guys, as you asked Abhishek, that was there any workaround for what we did here in my masters? So like we have workarounds for our bachelors, you guys must know. And so few of the techniques, few of the tactics are here as well. Like you can definitely have a few research papers which have been used in the previous years. From there you can have a better idea, like not like a cheat sheet or something, but I must definitely warn you, even if you guys are planning, that we guys have a very thorough Turnitin check for all the assignments, for all the projects that we do here. So you just have to copy 2 to 3 code line snippets, and then you're boom, a red flag. and then please don't ask me what happens after that. I was really scared to do that, and so I never could gather the courage to do that. But so that is there. All of my assignments, and when I say all, I mean all in bold and capital, have been submitted through the Turnitin. And we Turnitin is I'm sure probably you guys might know about it. So it is it checks through all of the papers published, all of the homework submitted, like in any domain, that if few words or few digits and stuff like that, if they match with any other file, it shows how what percentage of that file is matching and with which file it is matching. So the Turnitin check will definitely show you 8%, 5%, 3%, 2% from all of the papers that it's matching. And so you guys can understand it. It's not very difficult for the professor or for the teaching assistant, research assistants to catch that, and then that's a very, very huge red flag. So not trying any rough means, or like not trying a workaround like that, but definitely the help is there. You can definitely reach out to other seniors, and the projects are also many times are being revised. So it's not like you'll get the same project next year or the next semester. But what happens is that because the teacher has been teaching that course for a really long time, so people could get relevant projects from the theory part that he is teaching. And so you can definitely or your peers who had taken that in some other semester. So as you guys, okay, so let me studying all the same courses at the same time as what I did in my undergrad. So here we have to choose our courses. So if I choose course ABC, my roommate can choose course CDE, and then the next semester I might choose his courses or some other courses. So as you can understand, there is a bit of like one person going ahead and then other following, and then sometimes he is ahead and then I'm following. So it's like that. It's not like we are studying the same thing at the same time. So many times it was not really very helpful from your friends or your roommates and stuff like that, because taking some other courses. But what happened was, if they had taken any of these course in their previous semesters or in their earlier semesters, then probably they can give you a good idea of what to expect in the semester exams, in the final exams, which topics are important or which parts are important and stuff like that. And definitely for the project, many times you have to work on your own. The project is being revised totally. But in few of the times, because at Arizona State, what I felt was the professors, the work that they are doing in their research labs, the projects that they give out in their courses are very much relevant, are very much connected to each other. It's not like they're teaching something else, they're doing their research on something else, and then they're giving out a project altogether different. It's not like that. Few times it could be like that because of the course and the professor's research interest, but most of the times what I felt was what the professor was actually researching on and what the project he was giving. Research work, if you know about it, if you have enough information about it from your seniors, or if you do your own homework, then you can have a better approach at the course project that he is giving. So we definitely had to look out for all of those, but no other means as such as a workaround as you guys can think of, like that, because taking some other courses. But what happened was, if they had taken any of these course in their previous semesters or in their earlier semesters, then probably they can give you a good idea of what to expect in the semester exams, in the final exams, which topics are important or which parts are important and stuff like that. And definitely for the project, many times you have to work on your own. The project is being revised totally. But in few of the times, because at Arizona State, what I felt was the professors, the work that they are doing in their research labs, the projects that they give out in their courses are very much relevant, are very much connected to each other. It's not like they're teaching something else, they're doing their research on something else, and then they're giving out a project altogether different. It's not like that. Few times it could be like that because of the course and the professor's research interest, but most of the times what I felt was what the professor was actually researching on and what the project he was giving. Research work, if you know about it, if you have enough information about it from your seniors, or if you do your own homework, then you can have a better approach at the course project that he's giving. So we definitely had to look out for all of those, but no other means as such, as a workaround as you guys can think of.
Okay. So in terms of academics, what's the major difference did you notice between NIT Durgapur and Arizona State University, other than the workload? And how do you compare the research culture at both the institutes?
The academic workload at NIT and at Arizona State, I really felt was huge, was tremendous. And it's not to blame someone or to say that something is good or something is bad like that, but it's just the way it is. So after coming here, after being in contact with other people from other different colleges, universities across India, across various other countries as well, like from the Southeast Asian countries and a few of the other countries as well. Like what I have realized is that the teaching style or the research work that guys have done in their undergrad or in their bachelors have been in a very small, closed, compact compared to what it is here. The resources definitely resources is a huge factor here. And then I felt the interest as well. Here I see that students are genuinely interested. They are naturally inclined towards their research domains, towards their projects, towards their courses and stuff like that. But obviously in NIT, back in my bachelor's, I really did not feel the same way. Definitely not to blame others. Even keeping myself in that same position, I was enjoying my time. I was having fun with my friends and with my seniors, with my juniors. So definitely that thing is some in a way doing not that good as I thought it would have been. But so that is actually a culture that has to be developed. It's not like you and me can do it in a single day, but that's definitely a culture. Research work is totally a culture. Like I can say for competitive coding that in NIT, I really felt the competitive coding culture has improved a lot. That has really taken to good heights. Nowadays, I like what I won't even say nowadays. Like from my batch only, I remember like guys from every branches, from every domains were doing competitive coding, and they were really good at it because it's all in the end, it's all in your hands and you have to work it out. So it's not like anything is stopping you. So it's all about the culture. The competitive coding culture was there. People realized that it's needed for the internship, it's needed for jobs and the interviews. You won't be able to clear the interviews without that. So people felt the need, people felt the necessity, and then they were into that. So what I felt was but obviously there is no such need and necessity for research work. Definitely, like it's not like a company won't take you, or you won't be placed in some company because you have not researched or because you have not published any papers or something like that. So it could be a neglected thing for that. But here in the US, what I felt at Arizona State, what I felt was your thesis is being given very, very huge importance. I remember my teaching assistant from the software security course, software security engineer. So you guys can understand that it's not like the teaching assistant was just wasting his time trying to just take classes and help the professor in that. He was actually making time for the research that he's done. And then finally, at the end of the day, it was up to him if he wanted to pursue research more or if he wanted to switch to the industry. And then at the industry as well, he got a job as a security engineer. So I felt that all those things are not really present there in India. Like it's not very regular that you guys might get offers as a security engineer or be it from computer networks. I remember someone had asked this question like from you guys that the career prospects for the computer network. So it's not like companies have come or companies will come to NIT with the position of a network architect or a network administrator or a security engineer or all these things are there. So these things have to change for people to be really interested in these domains. If you want to be a network architect, then definitely you have to understand computer network to the basic, to the very core of it. Yeah, it won't be like all the 4 rounds from Geeks for Geeks, and then you solve the coding questions, and then you are a network architect. So you have to understand the network. So those things are there. Those things are definitely present here. It's not like all the rounds are competitive coding and stuff like that, but coding is there. That is obviously a huge part. You have to be a coder if you are working here in this domain. But all the other aspects are also there, and they are definitely not neglected as to what I felt was there in India.
That at a time when most of the students choose coding to land a job, you choose to continue your studies. What was the motivation behind that?
Yeah, so this was there definitely. I also remember having this doubt in myself and thinking about it. So I'll tell you how it went. So in the later part of my second year, when I started the research work, and when I got really interested in computer networks. I did not think whether this would help me land a job, or this would get me placed in a very high paying company or something. But I was really interested in computer networks. I really wanted to do something in this field. And Professor S. Nandi and Professor S. Saha were leading the wireless computing lab at NIT. So after consulting, I remember I had talked about it to DM sir, and then I had consulted that. So I really am interested in this one, and I want to work it up. I want to see how it goes, and not just from definitely you have to let go something to have something. I let go of a little bit part from my competitive coding so that I could use some time to my research work. I was after the classes were over at 5:30, I went to the lab at around 6:30, and I was there till 9:30, 10, and yeah. So in between I would come for dinner. Many times I have skipped dinner as well. The professors were very kind enough to substitute that with some other delicacies we could gather. But definitely that thing is there. I was motivated, I would definitely say. Without any monetary compensation, I was motivated. I did not think that if I do some research in socket programming, if I do research in computer networks, how much money would I get, or which big company would be happy to have me. So I was motivated. I wanted to do this. I could see that people around me were not doing that. Definitely, I did choose a different way. I did choose a different path. But I won't go on to saying that I felt like some hero or some rebel guy who's trying to do what others are not. But I was just motivated. I liked it. The research group were very nice. I am still in contact with many people from the research lab. They all have been very impactful in shaping my career, in shaping my life. So definitely I was motivated seeing them. I thought that, okay, so they're also trying to do that. And coding and stuff, it's always there. Of course, I can go back and then sit for some 1 hour or 2 hours for coding, and then also have myself at a level with others. But this is something that I really like, that I love doing that, and I felt that I could pursue it a bit more. So after the initial lab at NIT, I went for Swan Labs at Kharagpur, and then again, as you guys understand that other people were doing industrial internships. So it was definitely there. Even people could have got into industrial internships. I did not really think of an industrial internship at that point, because I was inclined for the computer networks and IoT and security. I wanted to pursue this domain, and I had received a really good offer from Swan Labs. So I felt that keeping the monetary part aside, because that is something I felt it could be gained up at a later period of time. It's not always that I'll have extra money. So I thought of doing this something for myself, for something I really liked, I was interested in. I had never thought of it as a stepping stone for my master's or something big, but I was just happy doing that, and I wanted to do that. So it was as simple as that. I had my friends who were very warm enough to tell me that I should not probably waste my time doing this, because coding should be my main focus in my third year, because after that the companies would come, and then like we need to get placed at that company. And so my friends were definitely there. They were very worried about me, I would say, because I was not giving too much time for coding and stuff. But in my mind, I thought that is something I can manage. I won't go out and say that I spend very less time in competitive coding, and that is like something very easy. That is like something I can do with my left hand and stuff. But that is also very, very hard, very tough, very important. But at that point of time, I chose my research over that, because I had thought that I can do that, I can compensate for that at a later period of time. But now if I'm not doing this research over here right now at this point, I would have lost it. So I won't be able to do it further in my life, in my career, after getting a job. It's not like after getting a job you can start working at any research group, at any research lab. Like, so after getting a job, you'll be working. You'll be working day and night, and you'll be working at the industry level. So I felt that this is my time. I can spend some time to explore it, and then again catch up later on with my friends to try to land a job and stuff like that. So it was just the simple fact that I really liked it. I really wanted to pursue it, and I was not very bothered with what industry internship I'm missing, or with what industry full time I'm missing. Definitely I have had my own share of rejections, because I have spent so much time on research and did not do very good amount of coding. So the initial few days, day 0, day 1, day 2 companies, all the big names, I did face very bad rejections from them. But that was very much expected. I did not just expect that I'll spend my entire time doing research at IIT, and then voila, the first day I get placed at the day 0 company with a huge salary and stuff like that. So those things were definitely there. But then after my internship, my career direction that got changed. And so like even after having having a job from NIT, I knew that this was my calling, and I had to come here to pursue this thing further.
Like, and it seems like you have been very much involved in your extracurricular activities since the beginning of your higher education. So what I am curious is, like, how did you manage your activities and your academics, and how important are those extracurricular activities to getting into universities like Arizona State University?
I won't. Then again, you guys are just making it very complex for me to answer. Extracurriculars, I was not really having my spread out in all of them. I was part of Sigma K, and so in Sigma K, I'll tell you, I was an instrumentalist. I know how to play tabla. I'm a percussionist basically, so I can play a few instruments. I have learned from my child, from very young age, and because of that I was interested in music. I was interested in classical music, and so I was a part of that, and we did some shows, and we did some performances and like that. So it really made me feel happy, like apart from the stresses of the undergrad courses, or the projects, or the competitive coding, or my own research work. I felt playing instruments, or like being at the Sigma K club, it was very relaxing for me. I was meeting friends, and we were having a lot of chit chat about the stuff, their lives, and I think music is the best way to relieve yourself out of any stress, and just let yourself out. So I knew I had to be a part of Sigma K. I have actually joined Sigma K at a later stage than others, because initially I was not really sure if I should go, or if I'm good enough for this. And other than that, I did play table tennis. So I was a part of that. But apart from that, I really felt like there have been people, I know my peers, my batchmates, who were leading actually various other clubs, who were part of the dramatics, or who were part of the CCA, various different courses and stuff like that. So they actually would be very, very good ideals to tell how they have managed their time. I actually was not very much into like various different clubs. The few of the clubs, very selected ones, I have been a part of that, and of course the zones were there. So things like that, these have really kept me busy. I was not very I would say I was involved in these ones, and not trying my hand at everything that was up. So, and at the end of the day, what I would tell that just don't do co-curriculars only for the intention of landing a good job or landing a university here in the US. It's like the extracurriculars, the co-curriculars should be for yourself, and then at the end of the day, they will benefit you. So don't always have a motive, have a plan for everything that you're doing. Like I won't say I'm just like just going somewhere, just doing something without a plan. I had my own plan. I had my own set of goals, aims, and stuff. But few things I realized that I have done for myself, for my happiness, and then those things could and those things have also paid well at the end of the day. So the co-curriculars that I've done, I really don't know how much they have helped me in getting admission here or the other universities which I have received from. But I feel at the end of the day, the co-curriculars are something that are being valued. So don't just run after the academics and have a very less or nothing side on your co-curriculars apart from academics. That won't benefit your own healthy mind, because apart from studies, you also need you also need some other place to vent out. You also need some other place to relax, to chill, to really let yourself out and be happy for that moment. Academics is there. The next day again, the morning, you'll be attending lectures, doing homeworks and PPTs and stuff like that. So, but the little time you get to yourself, try to spend that wisely, and definitely those do come in handy in the long run. I know people who have landed job offers from like having a connect with a co-curricular. Like I might say for a point, like this is not true, but I'll tell you, like, okay, supposedly I am a part of this Pigma K, and I have been performing few places. I have been performing at the NIT, few events for that, and then the person who comes for the person who is interviewing me, the person is also inclined in classical music. Then definitely he sees that on my resume, and then we click on a tone. So that thing is there. I won't say that thing could really bias his judgment for me, that I won't be able to solve that coding question and he'll think, oh, he plays nice tabla, let's have him in the office. So it's not that thing. I won't go on to the depth of saying that, but definitely losing up at the moment, at the beginning, trying to strike a conversation, breaking the ice, if I was to say. So those things definitely come from the co-curriculars. The person in front might be really interested, like the coursework is there. The coursework is same for you and for the rest of the department. The all 150, 200 students of your department are having the same coursework. It's just the difference of GPA and CGPAs and SGPAs and stuff like that. So what is that makes you different from the other guys who are waiting in line outside? You really have to think about that. What really makes you different from them? And then again, not only from the jobs perspective or from the internship perspective, or like or trying to land here at US universities and stuff like that. But I really felt कुछ चीजें मैं अपने लिए करता हूँ, अपनी खुशी के लिए करता हूँ, and those things are there which really make me happy, and I was a part of few of very selected those things.
Tell us about one thing that you noticed in Arizona State University that you feel could be inculcated in India, particularly NIT Durgapur, would be beneficial to the students.
Actually, the pattern here, which I mentioned, I have seen for the entire course of my master's here, that having some percentage of importance for the mid semester, for the end semester, and then a percentage of course grade for a heavy course project. So that thing is something which I would definitely suggest or try to inculcate here at NIT, my own alma mater, because I really felt that those things are what makes you. The course project, like you can just study the course, you can just memorize questions and then just write the answers at the end terms, the midterms, and get good grades and still know nothing about that course. You have to understand this, that to understand the very basic of the course, the crux of the course, if there is a project that is being given, if there is a relevant project that is there, then definitely you guys should have a hands-on on it. I really felt if these teaching methodology, this teaching pedagogy was there present at NIT, I would have been benefited. I would have been benefited at an altogether different level. So this is something that universities here follow. Big universities, small universities, every university here follow, and that is what is shaping the undergraduates here, and of course that is what is taking them to a notch higher than what people around them are. So like by the time an undergraduate finishes his bachelor's and is going for his master's, he already knows a lot more than what I did know back at my NIT. It might be different for people too. It might be different for other people. Like it's all knowledge different from people to people. But that was there, I felt, and I would definitely want to see a change like this. And if this was possible, then you guys would only notice that there is a huge difference. After having a heavy course project for the courses, I know that might create some problems for not having the enough of leisure time that we guys had earlier. But at the end of the day, if you want a learning out of that, then definitely a heavy course project and trying to score a good grade on the course project, because that again would result to your final course grade. If you do badly on the course project, you're not getting a very good grade on the course because it has a huge percentage. So if something like this could be adopted, something like this could be inculcated, then definitely we are thinking of a notch higher for the institute in India.
Do you recommend undergraduates to go for higher studies or research after completing the graduation? If yes, like what is the driving what drives to do that? Is it purely passion or any other factors to consider there?
Undergraduates and bachelors, like I'll tell you, I'll be really honest in telling you that, because you guys are like younger to me, and like it's just like feeling I'm talking to my juniors at NIT. So I'll tell you, it's not like everything you have to have pre-planned from the day one you enter the college or something. It's just like one thing leads to the other, as you can see clearly in my case, where I had started my initial journey at a research lab there at NIT, and then SWAN happened, and then the research, the papers happened, and then my professor only guided me for a master's here at the US. So it was not like when I had joined the laboratory there at NIT, I had planned for a master's here in the US. So it's not like always very crystal clear what you want to do in the future, but definitely you have to have a clear idea for that. You have to have a goal for that, passion for that. And for research, I feel that is a huge motivating factor, because monetary, I don't really see that in very recent times that there is some monetary compensation, a huge monetary benefit for that. Like you do some research on IoT security and IoT networks, wireless sensor networks, and then you land up a great role at some at a huge company like Verizon could be, Cisco could be, but all those things we have to definitely keep in our minds, that what companies are coming and what things are there. So definitely monetary is there. Money is a huge driving force. that is actually for the competitive coding and stuff. Like apart from the love that people have, money is the driving factor for the coding. So because money is not there for research, you guys have seen that if it's fine if I don't do research, still I can land a very good job at a huge company, at a big tech giant. So I felt that is why it's being neglected, but definitely it has to come from the inside. It's a very intrinsic thing, and you have to have it in you. You have to really like it. You have to love it. You have to know what it takes, and how people who are doing that are doing that. The PhD, the mentors, the postdoc people, the MTech people having thesis, the MCA people. So I have always been surrounded by those, and they have been really exceptional in providing in providing guidance to my career. So I felt that like I still feel that these things have to come from inside. You really have to be passionate about it, because if you think about what benefit I'll get from that, it's not like a very simple direct benefit from that. It's not like you solve some questions and then you land a job. So it won't be like that. But at the end of the day, if you have your passion for something, and then you do a little bit of research in that, and then even if you land an industry job, or even if you come here for the masters, that research that you did will always be with you. That is your own novel work. Nobody else in the world has done that, and so that is your achievement. That is your sense of giving to that domain, to that community. So that thing is altogether different feeling in itself, and trying to work for that. I still remember my days, my nights at Swan Labs, at the wireless computing lab at NIT, because they have been really very memorable. I made good friends, seniors who have helped me at every stage of life. At Swan Labs also, I have made some really good friends I'm still in contact with, and we did some good research work together. So, and I was also aware of what research they were doing. Suppose I was working on IoT security, but I knew friends who were working on blockchain. So I used to just randomly come up to them and ask them, hey, how's your work going on blockchain? And then he would explain it. He would explain what he's doing, where he's stuck, and things like that. So that in a way improved a little bit of my knowledge as well. I won't say I'm a very hotshot or champion in blockchain or stuff like that, but definitely I know a little bit. I know a little bit from what my friends have explained it to me, what research he is doing, what papers he is studying, which part he is stuck at, and how he's trying to overcome. So all those things will grow if you talk to people. If you talk to people who are doing research, it does not have to be your domain, but people from other domain as well. And then you will generally have a tendency, you will generally grow a tendency to like it. Even if you don't like it, still you can experience it, and then it'll stay on with you forever, for your entire life, that you have done this research, or you have published this paper, or you have been to this conference and stuff like that. So I think these could be your little moments of joy, little sense of achievement, which you will have in your undergrad or in your masters and stuff like that. So these will definitely add a positive impact to the course, to the program, to my bachelor's program, to my master's program. Like apart from my core studies, I still have something I did for myself. I still have something which was not asked of me, but I did it on my own. I did it because I liked it, because I loved it, and then that helped me in some part of in some way or the other. So people have to be generally inclined towards that, not thinking of something. If you are getting benefited from that is definitely amazing, that is definitely great, but it's not always that you will get instant benefit from that, but that you have to do by your own self. You have to really like that course, you have to really like that domain, and then in that you can build up your knowledge, and then with the help of seniors, peers, professors, mentors, you can really dive into the research world and see if you feel fit for it.
So how is the life in the USA compared to India? Like what are the differences between professors and friend circles here and there?
Firstly, for the professors and friends, like I have been obviously accustomed to Indian professors and Indian friends here from my bachelor's, from my undergrad, but definitely things are not the same here at Arizona State. I have had friends from various other countries and various other parts of the world, but definitely I would say that I have a huge majority of Indian friends because I used to hang out with them, and I have my previous roommates, and so I have been in with my Indian friends here, but I have been also exposed to a lot of people from different countries, different parts of the world. We have worked on several projects together. My internship at Cybercon, I was interning with various Americans, various bachelor students from other countries, other parts of the world. So what I felt was that is definitely a very enriching experience. You get to meet new people, you get to talk to new people, you know their customs, you know what they are and how they are not really very different from what we perceive them to be. That they also have the same mindset as us. They are also struggling with the courses as we are, and so everyone is trying to help each other in some way, and then just working out our masters here. And the professors, of course, I have been taught by professors from different countries, and we have had some Indian professors here as well. So I felt the competition here is huge for my peers, for my friends around. The competition is huge. People from various backgrounds, various ages of experiences, various ages are competing for the same role, or for the same fellowship, for the same assistantship, teaching assistantship, research assistantship, or like any fellowship, any scholarship. We all are competing for this one, and there is no bias for that. It's not like someone from this country would be biased over someone from this country. So that is their impartiality is there, and we have to fight for that. So I think that the fight which I had faced in India and the fight which I had faced here is an altogether different level. Like various other factors also come into play for this one, but definitely the fight, the struggle here has been exponentially high from what I had faced in India. I had my family, my parents, relatives, friends. They were with me. They were around me. I could just go and meet them at every alternate week or every month. So, but here it's not like that. I have entered US on August 14th. Los Angeles was my port of entry, and August 14, 2019, and I haven't been home since then. So for more than 2 years, I think I have been living here. I have not been home. It might be very difficult for me to recognize even after 2 years, but so that's how it is. Like I have been away from my support system. My mom, dad, they have been really very encouraging. They have been really supportive the entire time, always having faith in me, and never being upset at any of my rejections, and then never being dejected that I could not achieve something or I could not do something. They have always been very compassionate. They have been really very supportive, actually, like the way I see it. So those things, even if they are not in person, I felt that. But in NIT, they were like they were in front of me, so it was a bit easier for me to convey what my difficulties were, what things I was facing, what tough battles I had to fight within myself, and obviously with outside as well. So things are not really the same here in the US, but these things have to be different from what you have seen in your bachelor's. So apart from these, like, I think the idea of being unique, the idea of being independent, is something which you face after you come to an altogether different place. It's not like only the US. Like you can go to any other part of the world, like outside of India, and then you'll feel the exact same thing. Where the people around you, the people around you are different, are not what you have seen in your entire life, what you have been accustomed of seeing in your entire life, in your schooling, in your bachelor's, undergrad and stuff. So I think these were few of these challenges were there, but at the end of the day, you have to give it some time. You have to take it slow, take it easy, and then things will fall into place, and life goes on as it is.
So what is
Yes.
what is your message for your juniors that you want to give that we should remember every time?
Being away from family made me realize how much I miss them, how much I really love them, and that not being able to see them in front, it's not like I open my door and there's mom, dad, my sister, or like my extended family, and anyone is present in the house. It's not like that. It had always been WhatsApp video calls, WhatsApp voice calls, or Skype chats and stuff. So I think, and my friends, my undergrad friends are a bit far away from me. So those things are there. So what I would definitely give out as a message is like try to be with your family, try to be with your friends, enjoy your time with them, not forgetting your aim, your goal, but obviously spending enough times with them so that you always remember it, because the bachelor's life, the undergrad life won't come back again. My time at NIT has been exceptionally well. I have enjoyed myself so much, actually too much, but I have no regrets. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I have been very, very blessed to my bachelor's life so well, with my friends, with my peers, my seniors, my juniors, everyone I know, each and every face that I remember, each and every person, the contact I have at my phone, the pictures that we have together. I am hugely benefited from all of them. They all have helped me. So I feel that while still in bachelor's, you have to just go out, make friends, be with people, enjoy your time. Remember, this won't come again. Like even here in my master's, I was here, I made new friends, new seniors, but still life here is like a race, a very fast race, and it's not like I could just take few moments from here and then just sit back and relax. But what I did in NIT was altogether a different story. I had my share of enjoyment, my share of relaxation. So definitely that is something I have missed it here, and how. So I felt that the bond that I have built with my peers, with my roommates, my friends, that has definitely led to such fruitful relationships, such fruitful friendships with them. And I know that I stay strong with my friends, and they are with me. They have been with me when I was failing at various internship interviews, or failing to get my research paper worked up, or struggling in a course, in a project, or trying to learn a new language and new technology and stuff. So every time things like this happened, I had to just do a WhatsApp call with my roommates, and they were there to cheer me up by showing how miserable their life is. But that keeping those facts aside, my friends have been instrumental and exceptional in helping me across my masters here. They have been with me at every step, at every stage of life, and I'm really grateful to them. So I feel the message that I could give out to my juniors is like, enjoy your time, make good friends, make lifelong bonds of friendship, of relationships that you share with your professors. And because again, the professors, the friends, seniors, juniors are the ones that shape your life in your undergrad. So definitely you have to choose a good set of them, and then you have to just have them around, because friends, people, professors, and like all of them who have helped you in your life, some part, you should not just forget them, or you should not just move away from them. you should always be in contact and try to again meet up with them, or like stay in contact, so that you can relive those memories, those talks, those discussions. You can have them again, and you will feel the happiness inside some part. So apart from your daily busy lives, I would feel that you guys should take some time talking to your friends, to your roommates, to your wingmates, zone mates, whoever you are close to, and then discuss about life and whatnot. Because these things, these moments, these times won't be coming back. Not for me, as I pursued my master here, not for my friends who have been working in India, because again in their work life they have been really busy, and they are always running after the deadlines, the projects that they have been given, and of course, like the stress, pressure from boss, from senior developers, from others and stuff. So it just loses the touch. But I would definitely advise you guys to never lose the touch.